and the 1st December, what I wore last week. I started on Saturday with just something fresh and clean. I put my little video up of this one. This is Delicious Feelings by Gayle Hayman. So this one, I did have a few comments actually, and just to be clear, as it said on the box, this is the new formulation. Not only a new formulation, but it literally says on the box, new scent. So this is a whole new perfume. And lots of people have said it doesn't smell anything like the old version of Delicious Feelings. This one has, if you can see, a different font. This has a much more kind of modern font. The old one has a kind of swirly, more kind of script-like font. And this isn't the original cap. This is just a random old cap that I've put on it because the Delicious Feelings, or any of the Delicious range, the Gayle Hayman lids just smell really plasticky and disgusting. So I just changed the lid for this. Now, this is the one that I said I'm pretty sure is supposed to be a dupe of possibly Moschino Toy 2, but also because that one smells so much like Blanche by Byredo, apparently, then I think this is also equally possibly a Blanche dupe, but it matches more closely to the notes from Toy 2, and I do think this one smells a bit like Toy 2, but it's a bit more it's a bit easier to wear. It's not strong. I don't find it as sickly, so it's slightly different, but it has that same kind of vibe. So the top notes are apple, red currant and pepper, middle notes of peony, orris and jasmine, base notes musk, whitewood, cedar and amber. And you get a lot of the apple and red currant, you get some peony, you get definitely the orris is kind of giving it a clean powderiness, but also the musk and stuff, and the amber is quite sweet. So it's kind of sharp and sweet, but not in a way that feels like they're fighting with each other, which is what I felt like about the Toy 2. That one, it made me feel just a bit uncomfortable, but I kind of liked the general vibe of it. So this one I found much easier to deal with. And what I've actually done, because of those comments, I just thought, right, I'm just gonna see if there's the old version of this available in the UK, and I managed to get it for less than a tenner on eBay. So I've ordered, it's a brand new bottle as well, still in its wrapping. So I've ordered the original version of Delicious Feelings, and as soon as it arrives and I get to actually smell it, I can do a comparison of the two. So I'll be able to fill you in as to whether I think that they have completely changed the scent. And I would say that because the box says new scent on it, they fully intended to change the scent. So I actually wore that all day on Saturday, and it's not massively strong. It's very clean smelling. It lasted maybe 4 hours. It's not a long lasting one. It is an eau de toilette. But I just reapplied it a few times, and then I didn't really think to change my perfume in the evening. And I could still smell it on my clothes. I could smell it really close up to my skin. And it was just a lovely kind of fruity, fresh smell, kind of slightly fresh laundry, but it's not particularly soapy. It's more kind of bright and fruity. So yeah, so that was just an interesting one to try. Let's push it over there. Then on Sunday, here's another one that I'm going to butcher. So you might have seen already, I had the Armandia version of this. This is Jeanne en Provence, and it's Flanerie dans le Verger. So this one has notes of pear, apple, mandarin orange, mimosa, rose and geranium. And this is the refill. So a sniff. Yeah, it's got a real apple and pear, very, very light, ever so slightly floral scent to it. It's very, very light, even lighter than the almond one, I would say. And I do like it, but I don't like it as much as I like the H&M pear, and that's what this reminds me of in a way. It smells a little bit fresher, less like Haribo sweets, but only a little bit less. And I like pear better, but I still do like this one. It's pretty. So I've put some into a little decant bottle, and what I might do with this is I might put it into one of our little reed diffusers, our little air fresheners. I might just put it in there so it doesn't go to waste, and then I can get rid of this. And it's great, it's metal, it's recyclable. So yeah, so I tried that one out in the morning. A really good scent for first thing in the morning, nice and bright and fresh. And then because I'd already started with the pear, I wore, let's have a quick sniff. So pretty. I wore the Burberry Brit EDP I wore that one for the rest of the day. My husband really seems to like this. Whenever I wear this one, he will actually sniff me and go, He kissed my hand and then he pulled my hand back to his face and sniffed me and was like, So he really likes Burberry Brit EDP, and so do I. I think it's delicious almond goodness. So top notes, almond, lime, pear. Middle notes, candied almond, sugar and peony. Base notes, vanilla, tonka bean, amber and mahogany. I've talked about this one many times before. I think it's super easy to wear. You get the pear and the lime in the top notes, and then you like, as it dries down, you get more sweet almond, but it's not like a cookie, it's not like nutty in a kind of popcorny nutty biscuit kind of way. It's just a beautiful almond. You get a bit of vanilla and tonka bean. It's warm, it's cozy, it's really pretty. The mahogany doesn't come through massively strong, neither does the peony, I would say. So that one's just easy to wear. So that was Sunday, and then on Monday I just fancied a bit of Jeanne from Lanvin. This is just what I think of as my raspberry musk, you know, well, raspberry and freesia musk. Very pretty, again, very, very easy to wear. This is one that I actually think lasts for quite a long time, but it's incredibly light. So, and the notes for this are blackberry, pear, lemon. Middle notes, raspberry, peony, rose and freesia. Base notes, musk, sandalwood and amber. And if you overspray this one, if it hits your clothes, it will actually last for a decent amount of time, and it just smells delicious. It's really good to wear. Like, if you were feeling a little bit meh and you didn't want to wear something strong, this is exactly the sort of thing that it would be good to wear. Like, you do get a bit of blackberry, but I think it's mainly raspberry. I think freesia is definitely the strongest, and it's got a very, very sort of bar soapy style musk in it. So it's quite a typical Lanvin musk, I'd say, because I've also got Modern Princess, and it's exactly the same musk in there. And you will see my other, much more old school Lanvin is going to come up, and that one has a very bar soapy musk in it. I think they have a really nice musk in a lot of their perfumes that I really, really enjoy. Exactly my kind of thing. So then Tuesday, I decided to test out with a proper wear of Poison Girl Unexpected. This one here. And this is, I think when you wear it on your skin, it's nice, it's ridiculously light, and I was hoping that if I actually did a full wear of it, it wouldn't be quite so light, but it was still very light. I sprayed it on, like, if I'm being generous, I sprayed it on at 8:30 in the morning, and by the time it hit, like before 11, I could barely smell it anymore. Now, I do realise I'm spraying it from this little thing, but still, I did a lot of sprays, I put quite a lot on. It's just got no longevity whatsoever. Now, it's very possible that this one just needs to be worn in summer, quite possibly. But the notes that are listed for this are ginger, blood orange and lemon in the top, damask rose in the middle, and then base notes vanilla, tonka bean, hazelnut and cashmerian. But I do feel like this one, when it dries down, just smells very, very similar to the original Poison Girl. Which is not my favourite perfume by any means. It's okay, but I'm not mad for it. And actually, so I wore that during the day, and then when I got home, I decided to retest this, which I haven't had time to do a review of yet, but this is Rive Fleur de Femme, and this is a dupe for Poison Girl, the original, but it does have a cherry note in it. And weirdly enough, I'm not sure if it's because there's more ginger or what, but it did feel a little bit like there was cherry in Poison Girl Unexpected once it had completely dried down. Like, that's what it kind of reminded me of. And actually you can see that that's literally the colour of the juice. It's got a very lovely kind of orangey colour. And the thing with this though is it's that kind of Wanted Girl kind of scent, but I mean, no jokes, way nicer. And you know, Le Rive, this cost like a £5, maybe more than that, but it was between £5 and £10. So it's 100ml, and it's so much nicer than Wanted Girl. It's nowhere near as sharp and spiky. but it's still got that kind of caramelly vibe in the base with the kind of fruits, like tart fruits in the top. So the top notes here are almond, sour cherry, bitter orange and peach. Middle notes sandalwood, jasmine, neroli and patchouli, rose and cedar. Base notes vanilla, tonka bean and musk. And for me, again, like, patchouli does tend to ruin a perfume for me, so there's not as much, I don't sense as much patchouli in this as I do in things like Wanted Girl. And there is a bit of cherry in here, which isn't in the original Poison Girl. But the dry down of this is just so similar to this one that I was like, well, you know, what I love about that is the ginger. I think maybe I need to try and get a tester of Twilly, because I have smelt that Hermes perfume in store, but I've never tried it on my skin, and I know that one's a bit gingery. I've also smelt the one that is actually gingery, but it was so light, so I wasn't really sure about whether that would be worth it, but maybe I'll try and get my nose on Twilly to see whether that can give me the kind of lovely gingery vibe that I wanted to get from Poison Girl Unexpected. But genuinely, if you like Poison Girl Unexpected or Poison Girl, I kind of feel like La Rive Fleur de Femme is like right somewhere slap bang in between the two of those. And yeah, the patchouli in this is not as strong, I'd say, as like Wanted Girl. So I think it's probably easier to deal with. Like, I didn't hate it, I didn't want to scrub it off, but I'm just not mad for it. So it's not one that I was planning to keep, but it's one that I'm planning to do like a review of with some other La Rives I've got. So that's that one. Let's push this one over here. Okay. So when are we on? We are on Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Oh, I absolutely love it. I still absolutely love this perfume. This is Lanvin. This is Oxygene, and this is the one for women. Although I would argue that this is relatively unisex, not because it in any way leans like masculine or feminine to my nose, but because it's like super duper clean and pretty smelling. It's very sweet though. So the notes in this one: Indian white pepper and bergamot in the top. Middle notes are milk, gardenia and rose. Base notes are musk, iris and white sandalwood. This is such a good time of year to wear this, because to my nose it is got like a clean spa-like smell to it, but it's also way heavier than things like Delicious Feelings or like other perfumes that you get that have like a clean smell about them, because it's got that lactonic note. It's heavy in sandalwood. There's like a powdery iris, there's like a creamy gardenia, and then obviously the milk. It's got a real bar soap style musk, but it's almost like, I mean, I would argue that this is missing sugar as a note, because it's sweet, but it's not like vanilla sweet. It's very much like as if you'd mixed like a whole spoonful of sugar into that glass of cold milk. So it's not very warm, but it's also not like icy. It's just clean and beautiful and sweet and comforting. It's so lovely. And I was just tidying up my room today, and I put away the dress that I'd been wearing. Like, I put it into the storage that I keep it in, and then I could smell it still on my dress, and I was just sniffing it. I was like, oh, I love Oxygene. I cannot sing its praises highly enough. And I would say that if you like Jeanne or Modern Princess, and you like the musk in those, you'd really like this. If you like Carolina Herrera 212, if you like Alfred Sung Pure, if you like Noah by Cacharel, if you like Burberry Brit Rhythm, I think that you'd be in a chance with really enjoying Lanvin Oxygene. I don't see many people talking about it, but it's absolutely just so incredibly lovely. It's a beast. So it's not something I wear in hot weather just because it's really strong. And some people will say this doesn't last very long or it doesn't project. This is a projection beast. Like, I can, if I, you know, walk in and out of rooms, I'm sure that this smell is staying in any room I went into. It's absolutely lush. I love this one. I just can't tell you how much I love it. So that's Lanvin Oxygene. There we go. And then, let's see. I'm on to Thursday. Oh, so if you watched my Christmas what I'm looking forward to wearing this December video, I had this one in. This is Cherimola which is a Cherimola scent from the Scent Doctor. You can get these from is it Beauty Base? Probably not Beauty Base, but one of the UK websites that sells perfumes. You can get them for a tenner. You can get them for like 12 quid, I think, on Amazon. And it's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but it's just gorgeous, gorgeous. Red bottle, red glass, and it smells red. Oh, it's absolutely scrumptious. So this particular one, it's not on Fragrantica, annoyingly, but the notes for this are top notes of pear, apple, cherimoya and cinnamon. Middle notes passion flower, ylang ylang and jasmine. Base notes tonka bean, balsam, woods and musk. And it's just a beautiful, deep, fruity, but it's still really easy to wear. It's very fruity. And it has that slight cherry vibe, but it's got that slightly balsamic vibe. You get a bit of the cinnamon. You definitely get a bit of passion flower and ylang ylang. It's just lush. I really like this one a lot. It's just so fun to wear. Lasts maybe 4 or 5 hours. Probably more like 4 before you need to put more on. It does say EDP, but it's still pretty light. I still haven't worked out, to be honest, how the whole EDP thing works, because I just feel like so many of them are nowhere near as strong as they should be. I've got some eau de toilettes that are better than half of the EDPs that I have. But anyway, let's see. Don't know if I'm going to have room for this next one. So then on Friday, Christmassy. So another one that was in that video, I wore number 9 from the Art Collection by Jacomo, and this is super unisex. This, I mean, I think it might actually say it's for men and women, which is correct. So top notes orange, pink pepper, Amalfi lemon. Middle notes mango and praline. Base notes cinnamon, sandalwood and vanilla. And you definitely get a real orangey vibe, so you've got that kind of fruity vibe. It's got a sweetness, but it's not super sweet. A little bit of mango, but I'd say it's kind of mango and it's mainly orange. And then you get a lot of sandalwood and cinnamon. And the more it dries down, the more it's like a slightly barky cinnamon and sandalwood, so it's quite woody. It's not like hardcore wood like cedarwood can be sometimes. And it doesn't have that kind of weird synthetic smell that freaks me out, but it definitely is quite woody when it dries down. So the more it dries down, the more you get like a spicy wood smell, which I think is why it's just so unisex. And you know, sometimes I'm in the mood for this one, other times not, but like I was just feeling a bit Christmassy. But I had on a green dress, and I thought I'm going to put this on in the morning, and then I was expecting a delivery. So next thing on my list, now this one is actually, I can't even take a screenshot of all the notes in this particular perfume, so I've had to get this up on Fragrantica. So what I knew I had coming is, maybe let me just swap these around because that's a big one. I've always got too much to fit wherever I'm putting anything. Cabotine de Gres Eau de Parfum. So a very long time ago, it wasn't actually that long, but one of the first videos on my channel was about Cabotine de Gres, and I had the Eau de Toilette. Now that is a perfume that I was like, oh, there's something magical about it, but I sort of can't wear it because I can smell so much jasmine in it. And I was aware that this was compared to Tender Poison, which is more of a tuberosy perfume, I'd say. But okay, definitely going to have to try and work this one out, aren't we? So you can get the brightness of this colour. So this is a real bright greeny, yellow greeny colour. A green tinged beast. This lighting's not working too well. My lamp broke, so my husband had to lend me his bedroom lamp. Anyway, so this is the perfume version, because on that video someone commented and said, have you tried the EDP version of this? Because I find that that one's really strong in the blackcurrant note. And I was like, oh, interesting. So I went and had a look on Fragrantica. I was thinking about it again recently. I had a look at this article written by one of the Fragrantica staff talking about the differences between the EDP and the EDT, and he was like, well, the EDP is not quite as strong, it doesn't last for quite as long, which obviously seems mad because it's the other way around, but he was like, it's a bit smoother, it's a bit easier to wear, it's a bit more gentle, it's got like crazy aldehydes, but it might be the one to go for if you're a bit like, you know, if it's too beast mode with the EDT. And he basically said it may seem weird, but it's good to wear the EDP during the day and then the EDT in the evening, like so the opposite way than you'd think would be sensible. So I was like, I'm just going to try this one, because whenever I look at the votes on Fragrantica, tuberose is always at the top. Now I really do like tuberose as long as it's not too powdery or kind of soapy or buttery. If it's not too indolic, obviously, like, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy this because it was like, I think including delivery, it was about £12 for 100ml of the EDP. And I was like, right, let's give this a go. And it turned up at work and I was wearing a green dress and I was like, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to spray it on a bit of paper. I'm going to see how I feel about it. And then if I think I can handle it, I'm going to wear it home. So I sprayed it on a bit of paper and I was smashed in the face by incredibly strong aldehydes, like mega soap, and not like kind of creamy bar soap, like, well, I don't know, it's not shampoo-y, but it is a sharp aldehyde. It's an old school aldehyde. It's like super, super like woof, you know? So it's more like a very old school white bar soap that you know you would have got back in the day. I mean I'm trying to think of, like, you know, I guess in the UK it would be something like Imperial Leather, you know, that has a very, very, very soapy smell. And then it kind of dried down. I honestly don't feel like the aldehydes ever leave this version. I feel like it stays a little bit soapy the whole time. But what started coming through in this one was indeed the tuberose and the blackcurrant. So it's almost like a very happy, and that's the thing about this. People have said it was happy, and when I smelt the EDT, I was like, yeah, it's totally happy. It's a super joyful, very beautiful perfume. I just don't think I'd be able to wear it. I had tried it on my skin, but this was in much warmer weather. And in the warm weather, the jasmine really came out to play. I loved the ginger lily. I liked what I could smell of the tuberose. I liked the greenness. I didn't mind the aldehydes at all. But there was just too much jasmine coming through. So I kept kind of going back to smell it, but it felt like it was going to give me a headache. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to keep it. So I sold that one. But this one, this has, or, you know, it has the elements that I liked from the EDT, but it bumped up massively tuberose. That's what I was thinking anyway on Friday when I decided to wear this home, and oh my god, the sillage, the scent bubble with this is joyous and pretty, and I feel sure that, like, I mean, I didn't go crazy with it obviously because I'm not much of an oversprayer, especially not with a heavy perfume, but it's so weird because if I put my wrist up to my face, almost all I could smell was the aldehydes. Like, it was like smashed in the face with soapy sharpness. But the scent bubble, what I could smell of myself if I wasn't directly smelling my skin, was a beautiful green tuberose with a lovely hint of warmth and spice, and then like a drizzle of blackcurrant syrup. So it's got a sweetness to it, but it's not ridiculously sweet. It's got a sharpness, but it's not too sharp. It's so pretty. I was just totally in love. I absolutely loved it. And when I ordered this, I also ordered a tester of the eau de toilette. So the eau de toilette My memory is that it's a lighter colour than this one, and in the picture it certainly makes it look like a lighter colour, but I think maybe trying this at a different time of year has had a completely different effect, because last night when I got home I was like, right, I'm going to try this on, you know, one part of my arm. I hadn't sprayed it yet, and I was going to try the EDT on the other part, like of the other arm where I hadn't got any perfume, and then I could compare them. Both explosions when you first spray them. I mean, it's absolute madness. It's so soapy, but definitely this one doesn't smell as shampooy as this one. So this one, when you first spray it, hardcore soapy shampoo. This one, when you first spray it, hardcore soapy bar soap, but like an old-fashioned vintage bar soap. The aldehydes go away for me quicker on this one. They never go away on this one, which is weird. But in the deep dry down, in the deep dry down, you can barely tell the difference between the two of them, I would say. While they're getting there, this one, I think, I do notice the tuberose a tiny bit more, and I notice the jasmine a tiny bit more in that one. But it's so negligible that I think that the cold weather is really bringing out the things in this that I like, and probably in the warm weather it was bringing out the stuff that I wasn't so keen on in the EDT. But I would actually, to be honest, happily have either of these now. I really enjoyed smelling both of them. They both give an almost identical like sillage. I think that they both at first projected pretty equally, I would say, but this one I could still smell in the morning, and this one was gone. So this one lasts longer. So the EDT lasts longer, but I think they're so close in the deep dry down, and I think that the actual overall aroma that you get when you're wearing it, that kind of floats around you and creates this kind of big but lovely scent bubble, I think they're almost exactly the same in that respect. They're different, I think, in the beginning, but I don't really think that you would, it was so difficult to tell the difference between them once they'd properly dried down. And interestingly, I've read some, in the Fragrantica review, the guy was like, oh, they smell really similar at first, and then when they dry down, that's when you notice the difference. But I don't know. I mean, I think maybe this one is slightly smoother, but I think that's because this one's slightly stronger and lasts for longer. So I don't know that it's anything other than, you know, the EDT smelling a bit stronger and being a bit more of a beast than the EDP. So the EDP smells a bit smoother maybe because of that. But I think what actually comes through in this cold weather is just so similar. I just think it's, you know, maybe slightly more blackcurrant and maybe slightly more tuberose in the EDP. But to be honest, like I said, if you're not smelling it straight up to your face, they're gonna smell pretty much the same. So whatever is easiest for you to get, you're probably going to be into if you like these kind of happy, strong, tuberosy florals. And definitely this time round, I can see that comparison to Tender Poison, because that's like a beautiful green tuberosy smell that you can't get anymore. So I'm really happy that I like this one this time round. So I mean, I liked them both this time round. I liked the EDT this time round. Clearly it's just something I should never put on in warm weather, which is fair enough. So I've been doing all this talking. The notes are off the chain. There's so many. These are the ones noted on Fragrantica, and these make sense for the crazy smell because they don't list this many on the website and on this card, but I think they're just kind of boiling it down to the things they think are most important. Whereas on Fragrantica, top notes: coriander, orange blossom, blackcurrant, cassia, plum, tangerine and peach. Middle notes: tuberose, hyacinth, carnation, ginger, jasmine, ylang ylang, freesia, iris, rose, heliotrope and violet, all the flowers. Base notes: vetiver, civet, blackcurrant, musk, sandalwood, cedar, amber, tonka bean and vanilla. Now, from the bottle, when I first sniffed the bottle, it had a little bit of a pea smell, the kind of smell that I sometimes get from certain animalic notes, and also I get it from carnations. Nearly every perfume that has carnation in it, I think, at least at first, has a slight pea smell to it, in the same way that you get that sometimes with honey, you know. And actually, it's kind of amazing this doesn't have honey in it, because I would say there's something about this that makes me think of honey. But let's have a look. Yeah, it's not massively animalic though. Like, it's not an animalic musk, I don't think, particularly. And if there's civet in it, I can't imagine this smells the same as it did back in the day. So, main notes according to your votes: tuberose, yep, hyacinth, then carnation, ginger, jasmine, coriander, then ylang ylang. So tuberose is way up there. And this time around I really get that, although I would have blackcurrant and cassia higher than a lot of the other things in here. In fact, at this time of year, it seems I'd have it higher than jasmine, which, you know, it is awesome, because I find it really hard to wear jasmine-y perfumes. But this is such a lovely, beautiful, happy smell, and I can totally understand why some people don't like it. If you don't like tuberose, you won't like it. But this compared to top thing is Tender Poison, and just to point out, in case you didn't know, Cabotine de Gres came out before Tender Poison. So Tender Poison, obviously it's a flanker of the original Poison, and it's got that lovely tuberose going on, or it had, I should say, that lovely tuberose going on. But it came out after Cabotine, and this was obviously quite popular, so if anything, I think Dior was probably inspired by this. I imagine this was sold really well back in the day. So let's have a look. Anything else I recognise? Oh, they've got a Pascal Morabito Pearl Vert, which I quite want to smell. That was on my list. They have got a comparison to Poison, but I think the tuberose note in this has that Poison DNA. It's also compared to Alfred Sun Forever, but I don't think so. L'air du temps by Nina Ricci. Not so much. Oh, is that Wings? Oh no, it just looked a bit like the bottle from Wings. Yeah, but I don't know. This is like a hard one to describe, because I don't really know anything that exists now that I know of that I could compare this to. It's like, it's so pretty, and I found it very easy to wear in cold weather, like, and it was super nippy on Friday. So it just made me happy. I thought it was so pretty. I'm just trying to find out, when did this come out? 1990. There you go. This came out in 1990. I think Tender Poison came out in the mid-90s. So yeah, I'll check that just to make sure I'm not lying. But that's my memory of it. And it obviously is a shame that they discontinued it, but at least I would say you can get this. It's not, the thing is, it's not, I don't think it's as well respected, and people think of it as a beast. But like, in the cold weather, this is stronger than a lot of my other perfumes, but it's not like crazy strong. It's not mad. I've smelt things that I find far more overpowering than this. Just trying to get Tender Poison up to have a little look. Let's see. Oh, there's honey in Tender Poison. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised to see this and find out that the kind of the sweetness coming from it was from honey. There is something honeyed about it. 1994, there you go. Yeah, mid-90s, Tender Poison came out. So just a quick note to say that it says on this Eau de Toilette, because it doesn't have different notes for them. They've both got exactly the same notes. On the Cabotine website, they list the same thing. They say exactly the same thing on the back of the box. So the back of this box says, fragrance opens with a surprising whirlwind of mandarin, ginger and ylang ylang as a prelude to the outburst of unique floral accord. In the heart note, tuberose and hyacinth sensuous corollas mingle with ginger lily. They really do write such rubbish, don't they, all these perfume people. This floral symphony lies on a dry down blending patchouli, sandalwood, musk and blackcurrant. I don't really sense the patchouli in this. I think it's probably a very green patchouli, so it's just adding to the already quite green vibe of this, because obviously you've got cassis, that's like a green blackcurrant, which can also have a bit of a pissy smell, so that might be where that pea scent is coming from. But I get a bit of musk, maybe a bit of sandalwood, but it's mainly flowers with a bit of blackcurrant and a huge amount of aldehydes. So let me just see. Fragrance opener, sumptuous whirlwind, mandarin, yeah, ginger, ylang ylang. They don't really talk, like, I think on the other box of my EDT, if I remember from the original thing, they did have a whole thing about like the rare ginger lily from the Himalayas. They've obviously cut that bit out, but it's exactly the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same things listed for the EDT as the EDP. So I think realistically, if you're brave, you could get either of these. And I think if you like green perfumes, if you like sweet kind of floral tuberosy perfumes, if you like aldehydes, then you might be safe with either of these. I think probably I find it really difficult to say that this is the safest bet, because I think this is more soapy than this. This one never loses that crazy aldehyde smell, like crazy strong aldehydes, but the scent bubble is magical. This one, I think, I don't know. It's really tricky because they're so similar. But yeah, I mean, if you don't like aldehydes, stay away. If you don't like tuberose, stay away. If you just don't like strong florals, absolutely stay away. I don't normally like strong florals, but I do like tuberose. So yeah, I mean, I'm just really happy to have this now. I'm just super chuffed, because this is going to be a great cheer up in the winter kind of smell. And it's not one that you're going to have to keep reapplying all the time. So really happy to have it. I'll probably hold on to this little one as well if I ever want to compare them again, or maybe compare them in a different season. But anyway, yeah, that was my week. I was going to do a separate review of Cabotine, but just in case I don't get the time, I thought I'd put it in this one. And anyone who's come specifically to see the comparison, hopefully they've just skipped to the end and and listened to me babble on about it. But yeah, so a really fun week, and now we're fully in December. There's going to be more and more Christmas spices and all that stuff. I'm super excited.